Hey everybody, welcome to OverMVP, your number one source for all things Overwatch. My name is Chino, and today I'm very excited to bring you guys some analysis of a game that I saw between G2 Esports and Watchout Gaming. This match took place during the Alphacast EU tournament. G2 is on offense, and the map is Temple of Anubis. Now this game is interesting because it highlights some important concepts in competitive Overwatch, the first being counterpicking and the second being strategic adaptability. Overwatch is very different from games like Heroes of the Storm, Smite, and League of Legends in that players can change their compositions in the middle of a match. They can change their composition-based strategies and they can change their composition-based win conditions. This makes the game very fun and unique, and it also increases the importance of things like counterpicking and being flexible mid-game and changing up your strategies to adapt to the strategies of your opponent and to new variables. Alright, so let's begin with the analysis. Right off the bat, G2 Esports runs a high-risk, high-reward composition of 2 Divas, 2 Mercies, and 2 Pharahs. Now, Double Diva is a strategy that we've seen before. It's very, very powerful because she is a powerful hero and she's very flexible. She can act as that front line for the team with her defense matrix, or she can get into the back line of the enemy team and really be disruptive and get in the face of the enemy carries. On the other side of the composition, we see 2 Mercies and 2 Pharahs. Now, Mercy and Pharah synergize very well together. Mercy can amplify the damage of Pharah's rockets and can keep up with Pharah, keep that momentum going with her shift ability Guardian Angel. This is a duo that we see in a lot of competitive matches, but it's interesting that we see a pair of them in this particular team. This composition in general is very strong if it's allowed to snowball. They want to win those early skirmishes, build up those supers, and steamroll their opponent. They want to build up those double Mercy ultimates to keep that pressure going, and it's kind of similar to what we saw in the first Alphacast tournament, the finals between Melty and Planet Key Dynamics, when Melty runs a very similar composition, kind of a variation of this one, on Watch Point Gibraltar. They rush out of the spawn and they snowball the game just from their initial push. It's a very strong strategy if it's allowed to snowball, if they can get those small advantages from the get-go. But unfortunately for G2, Watchout Gaming has a great composition to counter this push. They pull out the Widowmaker, which counters the Pharah, and also is able to take out that Mercy hovering in air very easily, and they shut down half of G2's team right at the initial choke point. They also pull out the Roadhog, which does very well in a matchup against D.Va because D.Va has such a large character model, absorbs all that damage from Roadhog's shotgun, and is also very easy to hook. So what we see is 4 members from G2's team taken out right away just because Watchout Gaming has a great composition to counter their strategy. So G2's push is stopped, but they're able to regroup and they're able to adjust on the fly. They pull out the Genji, which is a great pick to counter the Widowmaker, and they pull out an offensive Widowmaker of their own because Watchout Gaming really has no response to a Widowmaker. They don't have any sort of offensive flank or assault heroes that can do the same thing that the Genji on the G2 side is going to do for them. And this adaptation really pays off for G2. We see the Genji walking straight up to the Widowmaker, getting into the backline, and really punishing the pick. He gets a double kill in a 2v1 situation, but even if he wasn't able to kill the Widowmaker, the counter is so powerful because Watchout Gaming has to divert resources to protect the Widowmaker. They have to send their McCree from the front line to help out the Widowmaker in that situation. And that really shows the power of utilizing counters correctly, and it shows the weakness of Widowmaker as a hero in general. The offensive Widowmaker is a really smart pick here as well because Watchout Gaming really doesn't have a response to it in the same way that G2 responds with that Genji. They only have a Reinhardt, a Roadhog, a McCree, a Lucio, a Symmetra, and another Widowmaker. The Widowmaker and the McCree are currently being tied up by the offensive Genji, and the other characters are really no threat to a Widowmaker. The Widowmaker can sit there all day, charge up her ultimate, and really deal a lot of damage and create a lot of pressure and space for her team. So both of these picks really allow G2 to snowball the game and eventually allow them to win. And it's not just the picks that allowed them to win, it's the fact that they were able to adapt their strategy to make sure that they were able to create advantages. And this is something that we see a lot more of in EU than we do in NA. In general, NA compositions are much more rounded in the sense that they don't really pick these champions that have obvious counters. Widowmaker is the best at what she does, undoubtedly, but she has so many flaws that it really drives a lot of teams away from her. But I think that a lot of teams in NA could benefit from knowing when they can use these niche picks. For example, in this situation with that offensive Widowmaker, who on Watch Out's team could really punish that pick? No one, and it really pays off for G2 in this situation. To summarize, this match is very interesting because it shows the importance of understanding hero counters, of understanding quickly the deficiencies in both your and the enemy team's team compositions, and making new strategies and being flexible with your strategies in-game to match and adapt to those variables. Teams and players that can do this are going to create advantages for themselves in a way that mechanical skill alone cannot do. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Chino. Check out OverMVP for more content and follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you so much.